Hi, I'm Sean Arnold, a special educator and STEM coach in New York City's District 75. I'm going to be going through the Google Level 1 training for Meet, Hangouts, and Groups. Amongst the greatest strengths of Google tools are how they can simply and effectively improve collaboration and communication in the classroom. And as crucial as building those connections is, they take on new meaning and purpose in the midst of our remote instruction. So whether it is for direct instruction, social emotional inquiry, or just being available for questions and to relay information, we need tools to drive those connections. And three of the more important tools for that are Meet, Hangouts, and Groups. So the first step is getting to Meet or Hangouts in the first place. So you can't go up to this waffle-looking grid and find it. So here's Meet, here's Hangouts, and I'm going to start in Hangouts, or we can just go ahead and type hangouts.google.com or meet.google.com depending on where we're going. I'm starting here in Hangouts, so you can go ahead and see this chat. Hangouts also is the non-instructional personal version, but here's a chat. We can share pictures, we can have conversations, I can speak to friends and colleagues. But what I really want to focus on is these video calls. So I'm going to hit that button and you'll see what happens. I automatically go to Meet, which is the video chatting platform for all Google for Education. So if I want to start one, well, let's just go ahead and click and start. And I'm going to call this my Google Level 1 and continue. I have a few settings here that we want to focus on. One is this More Options area. I can go into those settings if I have the wrong camera or microphone set up, or if I want to mute my microphone now or turn it off completely. But I'll stay here for you. And when I'm all ready, I can simply hit Join Now. Now, this gives me a little bit of information on how I can get people to join. If people are in the same domain as me, they can simply type the name of the meeting that I gave it. Or I can go ahead and copy this info or send it. Or I can go ahead and add people to invite them. I'm going to invite my good friend Natasha Romanoff, right? And maybe Bruce Banner as well. And send that straight off to them. Cool. You can always get back to that join info here on the bottom left. There it is. I can continue to mute or turn off my camera, turn on captions, especially for hearing impaired learners, or present directly. I can either present my entire screen, a window, or a particular tab in Chrome. So if I wanted to go ahead and just show this Google tab that I was sharing with everybody, well, there it is. And that's what others are seeing now. The other key features here are this chat button, where I can go ahead and have a conversation. I can add any links. I can also see what other people are in the meeting and either mute or remove them if I need to. If I have a large meeting, I can even see all the people on screen. And the last key feature for when you're in a meeting are this More Options area that looks kind of like a snowman over here. It gives you options to record a meeting, change the layout, or go ahead and adjust those settings again for what microphone and camera you're using. Another key method for creating a Google Meet is simply here in Google Calendar. I can either click Create or double click on the date, choose which calendar I want it to be in. Let's make it for this class and give it a title and go ahead and click Add Google Meet Video Conferencing. You'll see it's got the address right there, but I can directly invite the guests as well. Once I've invited those guests, I can add any information, add attachments, go ahead and save, and send that to my guests. And if I head back over to Meet, I'll see that's scheduled right here. Another method to have a Google Meet conversation is directly here in Gmail. So I can go ahead and head over here to any of my existing Hangout conversations, or I can go over here and find a user and begin that same sort of conversation, or start a video chat directly there. And the final key way you'll probably be having those conversations is directly inside of Google Classroom. So you'll see that there's a meeting link right here. Now if you don't see that on yours, it's because you have to head up here to Settings and go ahead and switch that on. And if you want, you can make it visible to students or not. And at that point, you'll be able to join with your students directly from Classroom. I want to mention that there are some key extensions you might want to add to enhance your Google Meet experience, including Grid View, but be careful if there are a lot of people on your meeting, it can cause it to run slowly. There's Google Meet Push to Talk, which allows you to basically use your space bar as a sort of walkie-talkie to turn your microphone on and off so there aren't any mistakes. There's tactic pins for Google Meets, which lets you create a transcript of any conversations in the chat, as well as pin necessary text. And then there's nod reactions for Google Meet, which lets you give the emojis and sort of thumbs up that you'll want to have available for immediate reactions to presenters. So now we're inside the newly designed Google Groups. While I'm here, I can go ahead and search through all the groups I belong to, but let's go ahead and create a group from scratch. I simply click Create Group and go ahead and give it a name. Now what's really interesting about this is once I've given it a name, it has a group email, which makes it easy for anyone to email every member of this group. Go ahead and give it a description. Now this is the important part. We can go ahead and decide who can be a part of this. Anyone in my organization, only people I invite, who can view the conversations, who can post, who can look at the members. So I can go ahead and change those up in any way that I see fit. Now I'm at the area where I can add members to the group. Create new managers for the group. Do I want a nice welcome message for them? Hey, how do we subscribe to this? I should also note that you can even create groups similarly inside of the Google admin screen. Once you create a group, you can start to have conversations within that group. Let's go to that group. We haven't had any conversations yet, so let's go ahead and start one. And you see this works a lot like email, so it should be fairly familiar to everyone. Now those get posted up here, and you can see other people can reply all or reply to author, similar to an email. On the side, I can also add members again, see what kind of conversations are happening. I can also change those group settings if I need to. And that's where I found both the name of the group, all of those privacy settings, as well as conversation history. And here's an important one. Do I want there to be a collaborative inbox where it essentially functions as an email for the whole group? Down at the bottom, I can delete that group if I need to. So you can also head back to that My Groups area and search for any groups you might want to be a part of, groups outside of your organization or within it. Now you can go ahead and use Google Meet or Hangouts to have meaningful conversations with students. You can have them present their understanding of math equations or display a Jamboard sequence to get them started or any number of other things. Then you can quickly share data and example lessons with colleagues in a group. It's all right at your fingertips. Well, I hope that gives you some insight to help you with your Level 1 Google examination, as well as gives you ways that you can instill positive communication skills within your students. The rest is up to you. Take care.